Along Alma, the mountains bedazzle the bay below. The roadway dips down and meanders past Almond Park, our rallying point. Vancouver is peaks, parks, and promenades, no less than sails and shipping. Always we've gathered on streets to dream dreams, contest plans. Alma is today's stage. Our demonstrators, bathers, climbers, gardeners, walkers wend north to the bay. We hoist homebrewed blue-yellow flags, dozens of signs. Traffic stops. Lights hesitate. Pedestrians stare. Throngs grow. Like a steady flowing river, we move north, loving nature, peace, justice, and civil liberty. Alma is a river in Crimea flowing northwest from mountains to Black Sea. Our hand-drawn placards tell that over a century past, Allied forces beat back the Russians. But the Russians overtook the land again, and with it, the Alma. Ukrainians fought as underdogs to retake the land. More than once did they battle, short of victory, hundreds of lost lives. This time it will be different. We'll help them, we who walk and ride freely along Alma. We'll raise the common consciousness. There's talk of Ukraine's Alma and ours. We send supplies and medics, house refugees, and meet in high places. Constancy encounters no roadblocks. The Ukrainian spirit lifts ours. We are afire with what we should and can do. We organize, gather donations, take names, march to downtown. Muralists and gardeners speak of blue and yellow sunflowers along Alma, along both Almas. Hi, I'm Sandra Bruneau. I'm a budding poet, and I'm also a retired teacher and university administrator. I have children and grandchildren, and I've turned to poetry as a wonderful avocation in my retired years. And it's always been my desire to write something with soul. And it happens that Alma, one meaning of Alma is soul. So one of my objectives in writing my poem, Alma, was to inject my own soul into it and to inspire others with the story that's told there. We were asked to choose either a street, a place in Vancouver, or a cultural happening, and Alma was a natural one for me for three reasons. One is my kids used to play in Almond Park, which is along Alma, and Alma is a very common street for us on the west side of Vancouver. Secondly, Russia had just started its unprovoked war on Ukraine, and I wanted to feature that in some way poetically. And the third reason is I have demonstrated myself on the streets of Vancouver for many just causes, and this seemed like a good topic for me to choose. Crimea is a landmass which borders both Ukraine and Russia. So in the 1835 Crimean War, Russia took it over, but Ukraine in 2014 reclaimed it. And this was a great aggravation to Russia, and it was one of the things that spurred Russia on to initiate the 2022 war against Ukraine, it not only wanted Crimea back, but it wanted to reclaim all of Ukraine. Vancouver has a long history of demonstrating on the streets for just causes. I myself have participated in many demonstrations. The history of demonstrating in Vancouver was part of the city's scene long before we moved here. It came with the birth of Vancouver, actually. Workers have demonstrated for their rights in many different occupations. Vancouver not only has support for Ukraine, but that it should have. That we are already meeting with other countries around the world at the United Nations about Russia's unprovoked war in Ukraine. We are working with our allies in Europe and elsewhere to find just the right kinds of war material and fighting equipment and homes for refugees here in Canada, and other forms of medical assistance and psychological assistance to those who have remained in Ukraine, those who have fled to other countries, and those who have departed for places like Canada. And so I hope to capture the spirit there that's present in our support for Ukraine. You know, the Ukrainian spirit really inspires me. It inspires Vancouverites and all of Canadians. And I'm glad to see so much support for Ukraine in the many different ways that it is given. And we are pleased that they're holding their ground, and we hope for the best for them. And I'm sure it will come.